Have you ever felt overwhelmed by studying and wished there was a better way? Imagine acing your exams without spending countless hours buried in books. In this video, we're going to show you how to study smarter, not harder in 3 unique ways. With these 3 efficient and effective study techniques, you achieve academic success while still having time for the things you love. There's a widely held belief that if you study for long hours, you'll automatically achieve success. This notion likely stems from the old adage that hard work always pays off. While it's true that dedication is essential, the idea that longer study hours directly equate to better academic performance is flawed. Why do so many of us buy into this misconception? It's simple: it feels productive. There's a certain comfort in believing that if we just put in enough time, we'll get the results we want. Plus, it's an easy metric to track. However, this can lead us down a path of inefficient study habits that do more harm than good. These inefficient study methods include cramming, rereading, and marathon study sessions. They might make you feel like you're putting in the work, but they're not effective for long-term retention or understanding. And here are the reasons why. First, when you study for hours on end, your focus tends to wane. The brain can only maintain concentration for so long before it needs a break. Without breaks, your study sessions become less productive over time. Second, rereading notes or textbooks without active engagement leads to poor retention. You might feel like you're absorbing the material, but in reality, very little sticks. This is because passive reading doesn't challenge your brain to process the information deeply. And lastly, long hours of inefficient studying can lead to significant stress and burnout. The constant worry about not doing enough, coupled with the lack of results, can make you feel helpless and overwhelmed. This happens all the time, right? I'm sure you've experienced it too. So now, forget about counting the hours, let's talk about some smart study tricks instead. Ever heard of the Pomodoro technique? It's one of those study techniques we'll dive into next, as our second point. But before we get there, kindly subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I will be making more videos about this very topic. Thank you so much. Study technique number 1. Create a study plan. Wondering how to create a study plan? No worries, I'm here to show you exactly how to do it from scratch. The first step in creating a study plan is to assess your academic goals. What are you aiming to achieve? Are you working towards high grades, mastering a specific subject, or simply staying ahead in your classes? Understanding your goals will help you tailor your study plan to meet your needs. Once you have a clear understanding of your academic goals, it's time to set specific targets. For example, if you're aiming to score above 90% in math and 85% in science, write these targets down. Having clear, measurable goals will give you something to strive for and help you stay motivated along the way. Next, you'll want to break down your syllabus into manageable chunks. For instance, if you're preparing for a history exam, divide the syllabus into sections like ancient civilizations, medieval period, and modern history. Plan to cover 1 section per week. This makes studying less overwhelming and more organized. With your syllabus divided, create a weekly coverage plan. This plan should outline which sections you'll study each week, ensuring that you have enough time to cover all the material before your exam. But then, how do you create a weekly coverage plan? First, determine which subjects or topics need more attention. Not all subjects require the same amount of study time. Identify which subjects or topics you excel in and which ones you find challenging. Then allocate more study time to subjects that you find challenging. For example, if you struggle with math but excel in English, you might schedule 2 hours for math and 1 hour for English each day. This ensures that you focus on areas that need improvement while maintaining your strengths. You can as well incorporate a daily study schedule for staying on track. Decide on specific times for studying each subject. For instance, on weekdays, you might study from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., focusing on different subjects each day. On weekends, you could allocate longer blocks of time, such as 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. But of course, don't forget to incorporate regular breaks into your study schedule. A good rule of thumb is to take a 10 to 15-minute break for every hour of study. This prevents burnout and keeps your mind sharp. But most importantly, periodically review your study plan to see how well it's working. Are you making progress towards your goals? Are there any areas where you're falling behind? These will help you stay on track and make necessary adjustments. If you find that you're ahead in some subjects but lagging in others, adjust your schedule accordingly. For instance, if you're ahead in history but behind in science, allocate more time to science and reduce the time spent on history. While having a well-organized study plan is crucial, you won't achieve top-notch results without incorporating these last 2 techniques. It's essential to utilize all three strategies, but focusing on the final two is particularly important because they work hand in hand. Our second study technique is called interleaving, also known as Pomodoro method. Learning can sometimes feel like a marathon, especially when you're stuck on one topic for hours. This is where this innovative study technique shines. It mixes things up and keeps your brain engaged and alert. So, what exactly is interleaving? In simple terms, it's a technique where you mix different topics or subjects during your study sessions. Instead of dedicating hours to just one subject, you switch between a few. This constant switching is like giving your brain a workout, enhancing your ability to retain and understand information. Traditional study methods like blocked practice often focus on one subject at a time. While this can be effective in the short term, it doesn't always promote long-term retention. Interleaving, on the other hand, constantly challenges your brain, making the learning process more dynamic, effective, and more fun. What makes this study technique so special? Let's take a look at its unique features and discover why it's a game changer. First, this study technique enhances your brain's ability to distinguish between different concepts, improving overall understanding and encouraging deeper learning as well. Multiple studies have shown that students who use interleaving perform better on tests than those who use blocked practice in various subjects from math to history. So the question is, how best can you apply this technique? Spend short periods on each subject. For instance, you might study math for 30 minutes, then switch to history for the next 30 minutes. You can as well do it within a single subject. You can change topics regularly. For instance, during a 2-hour study session for chemistry, spend 30 minutes on organic chemistry, then 30 minutes on inorganic chemistry, followed by 30 minutes on physical chemistry, and end with 30 minutes reviewing past exam questions. Finalize on this technique by taking periodic revisits on each topic. If you studied photosynthesis in biology last week, review it again this week along with your new topic. Let's say on cellular respiration. This will reinforce your understanding of the concept. Alright, now it's time to dive into the final technique and discover how it could totally transform your game. And that's retrieval practice. Ever wondered why you can recall the plot of a movie you watched a year ago but struggle to remember what you studied last week? That's where retrieval practice comes in. It's a powerful study technique that involves actively recalling information from your memory. Instead of just reading over your notes passively, you apply this technique. It turns studying into a more engaging and effective process. So how are you going to incorporate this into your learning? Well, you can do this in 3 proven ways. 1. You can start with self-testing. The first way to practice retrieval is by quizzing yourself. After studying a chapter, close your book and jot down everything you remember. Then, go back to your notes and check what you missed. It's like having a mini exam right after your study session. For example, after reading about World War II, close your book and list all the key events and dates you can recall. Then, compare with your notes to see what you might have overlooked. Second, you can do flashcards. Flashcards are a classic tool for a reason. They work. Write a question or term on one side and the answer on the other. For example, if you're learning Spanish, write the English word on one side of the flashcard and the Spanish translation on the other. Regularly testing yourself with these flashcards keeps the information fresh and readily accessible in your mind. Third, you can do practice tests as well. Simulate exam conditions by taking practice tests. This not only helps with recall but also gets you used to the pressure of timed exams. It's like a dress rehearsal for the real performance. For example, before your biology exam, take a practice test under timed conditions. This will help you manage your time better and reduce anxiety on the actual test day. If you're looking for some awesome techniques to ace your exams, I've got you covered. Check out the video I've created just for you. It's up there in the top corner, so click on it to watch. And hey, if you find it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you soon.